Look at the subject partners of addicts. Welcome to the channel. You're with Reverend Dr. Jason W. Morrison, theologist, and Heidi Rain.
Hey, it's Heidi Rain back with another Warrior Talk. I am so. What do I have in my hand here? I actually forgot to put this away. Before I make a video, if you're listening to the podcast and you're not watching this video, you'll just have to imagine in your mind. I have here in my hands a little statue of Jesus, and it's just Jesus looking up with his palms open and kind of welcoming in the energy of God. And so I know I really don't want to show you that, but here's the thing. I don't want to push pause and do this over again. So here's the truth. Every time before I do a video, I say some kind of a meditation. I do some kind of hold my Jesus and like meditate with it and think, okay, let the Spirit of God come through me and let you hear something you need to hear today, or see what you need to see today, or know what you need to know today. And I feel like I need to do that because I'm not just doing this for myself. I'm actually very introverted. I don't enjoy making videos. I know that sounds crazy for somebody who has so many freaking videos and podcasts, but the truth is I don't do it for me. I don't enjoy social media. Like, I've never been one to be the type of person that's going to like post their plate of food on the internet, or, hey, look at me, look at me. I'm more of an incognito type of person than that. So the only reason that I come to these videos and make these videos is because I believe that I need to be of service, that I am in agreement with God, that all of the experiences I've been through in my life, all of the terrible things I've suffered through, and even some of the great things that I've had the privilege of going through, are all in preparation to lead me to this moment, to whoever is listening on the other end of this, to guide you back home to some form of sanity, some form of strategy to know exactly what to do, or solace, just finding comfort. And so I always have to it's a battle between ego and spirit. The ego says, well, what are you going to talk about? And what are you going to say? And then the spirit says, but just get on and talk and I'll fill your mouth up with what to say. And so how I prepare for these talks, you've just seen. I literally sit here, I meditate, and I go live, or I hit the record button. I don't edit these videos later on because number one, I don't know how to do that. Number two, it's too time consuming for me to even do that. So let's hope that by me being obedient to come on here and show up and just riff with you a little bit, that I am going to share something that's of value to you today, because I want you to know that's the only reason that I show up here. Now, beyond that, beyond me showing up here, my work that I'm called to do is in my private containers that I have. You can learn more about the work that I do, where I come alongside of you at HeidiRain.com. If you're interested in that, you can go check that out and learn more. So let's go ahead and we put Jesus down, or Jesus could maybe just stay with us for this talk. And his little head can be right here at the top of the screen. This talk is titled today, You're Not Wrong. Now, who in the world would need to hear a talk, You're Not Wrong? Most people, are very adamant about what they think and what they feel and what they believe. And they're really rooted down in what it is that they think, feel, and believe. And you sometimes might even be rooted down in what you think, feel, and believe on a normal, everyday basis, right? You can share your opinions, you can state what you think and feel. But when it comes to dealing with an addict or an alcoholic in your life, you are always on that fence, questioning and wondering to yourself, am I doing the right thing? Did I really see what I saw? Am I really experiencing what I'm experiencing? Am I being overly sensitive? Am I expecting too much? Is this really happening, or am I making this up? Are they really sober, or are they relapsed? Did they take that, or didn't they take that? I mean, the list goes on and on. And so what happens is you find, as the partner of an addict and alcoholic, you get into this tete-a-tete where you're like in a court of law now, and all of a sudden you have the burden of proof on you, and your whole
This is what it's like when you're with people in a relationship that just can't seem to get their act together. They know who you are, they know what you're on about, they know what your expectations are, they've agreed with them, you know what theirs are, and you're trying to have a relationship, and it's all over the place. You're contesting with people outside the relationship. You got this person meandering to things that really aren't going to contribute to their life or the relationship. Not that the whole thing your whole life revolves around the relationship. I'm just targeting relationship as it is. And you've got all this stuff. If you don't know who you are within yourself, and if you're not aware of yourself, these people can emotionally catastrophise your whole person.
life in a relationship with an addict or an alcoholic becomes about proving that you're not wrong. So you can go into that proving mode, and you might even start to collect evidence so that you're not wrong. You're not wrong about how much they're drinking. So maybe you start to check off the bottle, and you take that bottle of vodka or whiskey and you measure it off and you put it back, and you have like a little secret way that you keep track of how much is missing so that you have proof. Maybe you take out your cell phone, and whenever they're under the influence, you start recording them around the house so that when they come to you the next day and say, well, it really wasn't that bad, or you don't really know what you're talking about, you can whip out the evidence and show them in your court of law, well, here, I'm going to prove to you that I'm not wrong. Maybe.
One of the skills of being a trained Christian minister, non-denominational, is knowing how to discern evil. And to be honest with you, once you know how to do it, it's not all that hard, because you're not running around trying to rescue people that really don't want to help themselves. This is the problem with most of the parenting and therapy places and all this other stuff. Really, for the most part, they're just enabling the problem. When you can discern evil for what it is, or dysfunction for what it is, you can try and work with that person. But if they don't want to help themselves, there's really no point in you wasting your time. What's the point of it? Really? It's only going to cause trouble for you. The person's got more value for what doesn't matter to you or help them. And honestly, you need to be a little bit more stoic about what your values are and what you're going to tolerate and what you're not, because these people will run you around.
You keep the receipts for things so that you can add up how much money they've been spending, or you track their history on their computer to look at the things they've been looking at and show them the evidence. And so your whole life in a relationship with an addict or alcoholic becomes about proving that you're not wrong. But what I want you to consider today, just to think about today, what if we operated from here on out under the idea that you are not wrong, that you are 100% correct in everything that you're doing, and you decide in thinking and knowing, and you decided in that moment that you are going to own the fact that you're not wrong. Now what? What would your life be like if you stopped trying to prove to the person who's incapable of seeing in the first place? Let's just be real about that conversation.
I'll tell you what it is. You end up on your own. You end up on your own. Because you're meandering to the dysfunctions and the inadequacies of the person that's not playing their part in the relationship, whether it be physically, emotionally, integrally, you name it. Could be drugs or on drugs, drink. There's a host of things that these people do. Hey, buddy. to wreck their lives and yours.
You know damn well you can show a video of somebody throwing up, falling downstairs, berating you, acting like a cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and they will look at you and say, well, that must be the voice. I don't know what you did in that video. That's not me. I didn't do that. I don't know what you did. You edited that. You put and
That's because we live in a denial generation, which doesn't want to face responsibility and definitely doesn't want to take accountability. Oh no. These people will ostracize you. They will emotionally assault you, psychologically aggrieve you. They'll abuse you. They'll covertly assassinate your character. They'll undermine your relationships. And all in the name of, apparently, family love. And these people are usually the closest people to you. They run smear campaigns. They attack who you are. And half the time you don't even know this is going on.
Still, in the face of the evidence, well, this is drafted out of the account. Well, I didn't take that out of there. I mean, you must have taken that out of the account, not knowing that you did that. The level of master manipulation and gaslighting that goes on in an addictive scenario is mind-boggling. It literally is the very definition of gaslighting. It is the very definition of them making you question your own sanity until finally to a point where, again, here you are with your bag of evidence marching into court, and nobody even ever hears the case because you still, like I said, in the face of evidence, they're still gaslighting and trying to manipulate right up into the end. And I want to throw some compassion on that fire, okay? And a little bit of understanding on that fire.
Thank you.
What I want you to know is,
Thank you.
when somebody is rationalizing and gaslighting and minimizing to that level in their addiction.
And I can tell you, there's people that don't even want to, they won't even talk about it. They're so far in, they just stonewall. Take it or leave it is their attitude. And if you don't believe me, try to leave it. You won't hear from that person again. Their values were never with you. They were with the addiction. They were with the codependent people they rely on them. And you would just stay a supply for a part of their life that they didn't have. That's all you were. You're not as important as you think.
They're in so much denial about what's really going on with them that they half believe that they're telling the truth. They literally have convinced themselves. They're in so much denial. They're hijacked about what the addiction really is, how deep they are in it, how much they're actually using. Well, you've drank this much. Well, I didn't drink that. The kids must have got into it, or you must have drank it and didn't know. And, it's on and on and on. And they are in such denial that they are never, even in the face of evidence to prove that you're not wrong, going to agree with you.
And these people will lose relationships. They'll lose money. They'll mislead their children. They'll harm themselves. They'll be addicted to things. And you're trying to, you're just trying to have a normal life. And there's no such thing. They don't know what that is. They just go through their motions, get up, go to work, come back to their drugs, have a partner in the middle of it all. And that's it. And they'll run it till they sell it, till you get sick of them, and then they disappear.
And say, you're right. And even if they do for a minute, well, you're right, I know. And then it's usually in this weepy kind of like, I know, you're right, I'm an asshole, right? It goes right into the victim thing. Like,
Yep.
You're right, I'm so sorry, I'm such a
They're
jerk, I'm such a
perpetual
terrible
victims.
person. And they put you in this position where then you're going to have to say, well, I am right about this, but I don't want you to hurt your I don't want to hurt your feelings. I don't want you to be hurting. And now I'm the bad guy because
Screw
I'm
their
hurting you with
feelings.
my truth about your addiction. And so then you ease up. And really that was another master manipulation. That was another way that you just got manipulated
They're
out
masters
of
at it.
being not wrong, because now you're being made to feel bad for not being wrong. What do you do with all of this?
You leave.
You know,
I
how
tell
do you,
you leave. Ladies and gentlemen, viewers, you leave. And you get on with your life in a simple, healthy, peaceful way and leave them to their turmoil.
start to heal your family? Because that's what I'm here for. I really believe in my heart of hearts that the information that I give to you and the insight and the wisdom that I share with you is step one in turning this whole entire thing around. The first thing you need to know is when I'm singing your song, oh my God, I'm not alone, right? She sees, because I've heard hundreds of families tell me the same exact things over time. And over all the time I've been doing this, the stories resonate, right? And so we know exactly the next step is what to say and what to do in a situation like that. But the first thing you need to know
Goodbye.
is you're not wrong. You have nothing to prove. Now what?
You say
What if
goodbye.
it's true that you actually see what you see? What if it's true that you actually know what you know is
You
going
say goodbye.
What if it's true that you feel what you feel and
Oh my
you're
God.
justified in feeling whatever it is that you feel? What
This is how far removed these people get you from yourself. A lot of these people can't even tell if what they're seeing is believable, but it is. They condition you to think that what you're seeing is not real. That's what they do. They're masters at it. And if you're self-aware, you're way on top.
is next for you if all those things are true? If you waste all your time and energy proving that you're not wrong
That's
to
it.
somebody who's never going to see the righteousness of any of it
100%.
anyway to begin with, and you waste all your time trying to prove that you're right, you don't ever get a chance to heal what's going wrong.
100%.
You're not wrong. Now what? Hopefully this has been a good talk
You
for you
leave.
today. Do you think, Jesus, that this has been helpful? Let's hope so.
Ladies and gentlemen, you leave. If you've tried everything you can, you've given it at least 3 months. I've given up to 9 months in some cases. You have to leave. They're not going to change. They've got their mind made up of what's important to them. It's not you. They've run you as far as you can. You've got no patience left. Leave. Just leave. And find a new way, a better way of life. Stop questioning how you feel. Stop letting this run you down and wear you out and oppress you and depress you. Leave. These people will drive you to the point where you no longer care. Right? They just will. That's what they do. What are you supposed to do? Really, in all honesty, just leave. Do everybody a favour and leave. This is Reverend Dr. Jason W. Morrison, theologist, New South Wales, Australia. You know what? Let me just, before I go, say this. What did Jesus do? He left, didn't he? And what did he leave behind him? His spirit. If you give that person the blessing of you leaving, they'll remember your spirit. If you've been a good person, they'll remember your spirit, and let them live with that, because they didn't know what to do with you. Leave.